The Education Secretary, which I can't even believe that's a position in this country, Miguel Cardona, yesterday, he tried to quote Ronald Reagan.
As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
Yeah, he just kind of missed that one a little bit. Here's what Reagan actually said.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
So obviously Miguel Cardona's catching a bunch of crap for getting the quote all wrong. But this is a helpful little moment for us, not just so we can point at Miguel Cardona and laugh, look how dumb he is, but so that we can remember these people live in a world of make-believe because of our communist education system, an education system that is now specifically designed to make people stupid. It's not to teach them math and science, it's to make people dumb, to indoctrinate them. We have a bunch of very accomplished people in this country who are complete and utter morons. Them and your liberal Aunt Peggy. These people live in a world of make-believe. Just always remember that, and always remember stepping into that world with them, trying to meet them halfway in a world that is not real, is a pointless exercise. They can come out of that world, or we're going to have to stay separate. All right? I mean, look. What kind of education did this man get? Well, here's a little montage. What you're hearing here is all those teachers who taught him throughout the years.
Students need access to healthcare to thrive in school and in life, and that includes reproductive healthcare.
I respect differences of opinions. I don't have too much respect for people that are misbehaving in public and then acting as if they know what's right for kids.
Our schools should not be the place for culture wars. Our parents want our children to recover from what was missed during the pandemic, for the missed instruction. They want the mental health needs of their students cared for.
One thing that I know as a former commissioner of education, COVID-19 numbers will dictate how we move to reopen schools. So it's not just about what's happening in the schools, it's about what's happening in the community.
You're saying, do I believe transgender girls should have access to sports? Yes, I do.
That's our Education Secretary. Joining me now, my friend Corey DeAngelis, author of the book, The Parent Revolution, doing great work out there. Okay, Corey, not only is he an obvious activist, he's a moron that doesn't know Reagan's quotes. This is pretty much what our education system produces these days.
I mean, yeah, Jesse, he can't really be that stupid, can he? Well, I mean, he did go to public schools, so you can't really blame him, right? He's a walking advertisement for school choice. Maybe if he had access to a private school that taught a better education and the history of the United States in the right way, he would have not messed up President Reagan's quote so badly. But yeah, he's a walking advertisement for homeschooling and school choice.
Speaking of walking advertisements for homeschooling and school choice, someone who I'm sure makes your job a whole lot easier is Randi Weingarten, affectionately known as Communist John Denver on the show. She came out and said the homeschooling is on the rise because of gun violence and bullying. This woman is something else, Corey.
It's her own fault. I mean, look in the mirror, Randi Weingarten. The homeschooling numbers doubled or tripled relative to pre-pandemic levels. After she fought to keep the schools closed as hard as possible, she was threatening safety strikes in 2020, calling the plan to reopen school reckless, callous, and cruel. She was even lobbying the CDC to make it more difficult to reopen schools in person. They just fearmongered every step of the way. She had local affiliates deleting tweets, like in Chicago, saying that it was the push to reopen schools is rooted in sexism, racism, and misogyny. She has destroyed the American school system so badly that parents are voting with their feet to homeschooling. They're pulling them out in droves to go to private schools. The charter school market has seen a 7% increase in enrollment in recent years as well. So this is all her fault, and we should really present her with an award. I mean, just look at her, just how she talks and everything. She's just totally insane, and she's waking parents up to the indoctrination in the public schools. And so families want alternatives. They want private schools, they want charter schools. And the best way to allow that to happen is to let the money follow the child and stop sending it to her unionized failure factories.
Corey, what does the Department of Education even do? Why do we need one of these things?
We don't. I mean, that's the obvious answer. And the word education is not in the U.S. Constitution. It was always unconstitutional. Started in 1979. It was purported to increase student outcomes from its inception. We've spent over $1 trillion from the federal level since the inception of the Department of Ed. And the achievement gaps have gotten worse, if anything, not better. So it hasn't lived up to its purpose. Let's get rid of it, get the money back to the states, and let the individual states figure out how to best spend the money for the kids that actually live in their states.
Corey, what's going on in Tennessee? Governor Bill Lee's got a school choice proposal, but not all school choice proposals are created equal, as you obviously know. What is this one? What do we make of it?
This is the gold standard. All the Republicans should get on board. 10 other states in 2 years alone with Republican-controlled legislatures have gone all in on school choice, allowing every single family to be eligible, not picking winners and losers, saying that if you're from this income or from this background, you're eligible. Governor Bill Lee, like these other states, is calling for universal school choice, no income caps, no restrictions on who gets access to the program. And so it's the Milton Friedman's vision for school choice. It's full-throated education freedom, and this is the way to do it. He just announced this today, and so that he might be the 11th state to go all in on school choice. It's just so interesting how much momentum has catapulted over the past couple of years because of people like Randy Weingarten showing parents their true colors and showing them that they want to focus more on their leftist values being inculcated in the government school system as opposed to just teaching kids how to read and write.
Now, Corey, I can't help but look on at that Tennessee law and be pretty jealous because here I am in the red state of Texas, and we don't have a law like that, Corey. Why don't we have a law like that here?
Yeah, I'm in Texas too. I'm calling in from San Antonio, Texas, and the Senate passed it easily, 18-13. Only one Republican defection. Governor Abbott was pushing it as hard as possible, called a couple special sessions on the issue as well. But you had 18 of the 21 no votes in the House were Republicans who were endorsed by the teachers union. In fact, it was the state affiliate of the largest teachers union in the country, the National Education Association. So you have wolves in sheep's clothing in the Texas House, so-called Republicans blocking education freedom, who joined all of the Democrats, including the chair of the House Democrats in Texas, Trey Martinez Fisher, who's a hypocrite on school choice, went to private school himself in San Antonio, actually, and sent his own kids to private school too, yet he fights against school choice for others. And in Texas, the main argument from these so-called Republicans in rural districts, many of them who are retiring and who are going to get primaried, by the way, because Governor Greg Abbott has already endorsed 58 House Republicans on the issue. They all support school choice. He's not going to endorse any of these rhinos who blocked his priority of school choice. But what they'll say to try to have their cake and eat it too is, well, hey, we're in Texas. We have rural areas, so I don't have to vote for this. But guess what? Florida has rural areas. Their Republicans vote for school choice. The most rural states in the country, the 10 most, already have some form of private school choice. Maine and Vermont have the oldest voucher programs in the country, much more rural than Texas. And they have programs that were built just for kids in rural areas because they didn't have public schools. They gave vouchers to parents to take it to other public schools in other areas or to private religious or non-religious schools. So they figured out over 100 years ago in Maine and Vermont in the late 1800s that not having a lot of choice because you're rural is an argument to expand opportunities, not to restrict them. And West Virginia, the first state to pass universal school choice, is much more rural than Texas too. And if you poll voters in rural areas, they tend to be more supportive of school choice than voters in urban and suburban areas. So this is just a ridiculous argument, a convenient excuse for it has been for a long time for fake Republicans to side with the Democrats, but parents aren't falling for that crap anymore.
Corey, finally, is homeschooling included in any of these proposals or any of these laws? I know there are costs that are associated with that. Is there a chance in some of these states that parents get some of that cheddar back associated with it?
Yep, depends on the state, but most of the proposals are something called education savings accounts. So it could be used at private school tuition and fees, but you could also use it for any other approved education expenditure, including homeschool curriculum, private tutors, special needs educational therapies, textbooks, and other materials as well. So in Tennessee, for example, the proposal today from Bill Lee would include homeschool expenses too.
How about that? Corey, appreciate you, man. Come back soon.